News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Welcome to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry, and Wood Turning.
I'm Allan Gilbreth with AllanSpices.com.
And I'm Maximilian. And we're actually coming up empty on holidays today. Unless you want to celebrate Cathode Ray Tube Day.
Okay, what is that, Allan?
Hey,
I already know you'll know what that is.
I'm all about a CRT, man. That's the technology that got us here. That is your old-fashioned picture tube in your TV.
Cathode.
That's a cathode ray tube, a CRT.
Ray tube.
That is when that is back in the days of 4,000-pound televisions and yeah.
Okay, well that's we can get something out of that. So
that is a serious part of our history on designing your house, how to build your entertainment center.
That's when you needed 4 guys to move your television set.
Yes, you did.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Max, yeah, that was before before you could just basically hang a TV on a wall that's 3 pounds.
Yeah, before televisions weighed an ounce and a half.
Okay. Is there any history on that, Max? Don't tell us now, but is there something that...
Oh, there's a lot of history on CRTs.
CRT actually sounds very relevant. And it's relevant to radio, you said?
Well, it's relevant to all the technologies, television, radio, everything. The cathode ray tube is the one that allowed us to fire and control electrons.
Okay.
I'll just say this. The reason it's celebrated today is to mark the anniversary of its patent by a Russian immigrant by the name of Vladimir Zorkin.
Oh, see, I thought there was a guy named Farnsworth involved in this, but he was...
There will be.
Okay. All right. After the... Okay.
There will be.
All right. That sounds good. I think we can make something of this. So, Cathode Ray Tube Day. All right. Well, Allan, it's funny because in our great moments in building history, which Allan selected, I'm making a point of saying that. I guess you were feeling too much holiday cheer, and so now you want us to talk about some haunted mansion. Is that it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
What else? Victorian ghost stories, man. It's a tradition.
I'm kind of wired the same way. It's like once the weather starts getting cold, I want to see a little bit of horror.
Okay, well, you're going to get it today. We're going to
good.
We're going to talk about the McRaven House in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I think we might have talked about this like 4 or 5 years ago, but who knows? Whatever. There's always more depths to plumb on this stuff, but I was looking it up, Allan. I was trying to do my research, and all I could find is this place, everybody's telling ghost stories about it. So, okay. But there's more to it, obviously.
Well, let's just say for anybody looking to do an addition to your home, this is a magnificent example and cautionary tale.
Oh, so they brought in some haunted 2x4s and,
Well, this house has been rebuilt many, many times.
So the boards did like the whole Fantasia thing where like the boards and the tools actually like got possessed themselves.
That's what okay. You never know, Max. I mean, that's why you got to be careful with what you build. So, okay, well, we'll get into that. That's going to be its own thing. We teased it actually, we didn't tease it. We said we were going to get to it, and we ran out of time. So I think we have to make a point today to get to our Cosmic Homeowners segment, which is all about fast fashion. Part of the reason I'm excited to get to this is because for once, Allan and I are stepping up and saving the environment. You too, Max. I'd say the 3 of us are doing our part because we're not into fast fashion. I know I'm not.
None of the 3 of us will ever be accused of being a fashionista.
That's why we're on the radio.
Very much.
And we have a tool tale that we didn't get to either. So we got a couple leftovers from last week. It's just like, holiday leftovers, I guess.
Okay.
So, a primer on primer, which if it doesn't turn into a hot debate, I'm not doing my job right. So, and let's see, one more before well, Allan, I don't know if I fully understood this, but you talked about it's something about basically, let's just say repurposing something. I don't know if it's repurposing.
Repurposing is the perfect word.
Okay, repurposing furniture. That's what we're going to call it. So, and then I do have something else that we'll get to. It's something we're tempted to get in our house called stone carpet.
Okay.
I like the name, and I watched some videos on it, and that's enough for me. But we're changing the flooring in our kitchen at some point, and so we want to we want to round table that because it's something I'm not at all familiar with. And then we have a whole lot more here, so never fear. It's going to be an action-packed show. But before we get to any of those things, let's get to our must-have item of the week, which I've posted, and actually technically you can hear this, and I don't know what, I guess we'll go ahead and tell people what I'm holding up here because it's kind of a variety. But
all right, we're going to call that the contractor grab bag of washers and electrical caps.
Are they called wire nuts? Or
Yeah, wire nuts, electrical caps. Basically, it's the $2 pack of junk that will keep your $200,000 job from working.
Right, exactly. This is one of those things where, wire nuts, and then, folks, if you have a drip in your faucet or something, usually all it is there's a rubber washer inside which wears out from time to time. Every few years, maybe you got to just replace it. It's not that big a deal. The thing that's a hassle, though, is when you don't have it. It's like, these are the kind of things where, folks, if you can imagine, I've got a little packet here of rubber washers and for plumbing, and then the wire nuts, and I just keep these in my junk drawer at home because when we have a bathtub, for example, that I would say almost like clockwork, every 3 years I have to replace this washer. The thing drips and it's got this whole faucet, but it's like, okay, when you go to buy that one washer that replaced it, just get 4 or 5 others because you got probably the same size washers in the house, and then you're not driving to the store for something that literally costs like 50 cents to buy or something. So my thing, I guess I'm calling this just saving yourself grief by having a few of these little and wire nuts are the same. There's really nothing that replaces that. I'm not going to wrap a electrical connection just in some electrical tape or something without,
and then hope it doesn't come apart. No, that is not safe thinking. The biggest thing is I do have a very small, one of the little cheapy kind of giveaway tool bags from the big box stores, and it is full of, and we're just going to call it the widget bag because it's got the leftover screws, it's got the washers of various and sundry sizes, it's got the what did I take out of something to replace and put in there. It's just a weird mishmash, but oddly, that bag gets used every single week.
I know. I got the same kind of thing.
I need a screw that's less than a half-inch long with a big flat head and I think I got one in the bag.
Right.
I need a piece of wire, just a thin little piece of wire, 4 inches long, and I just need to wrap it around there's one in the bag. And it's just, some people have a junk drawer. I have the junk bag.
Yeah.
Would you say that wire is a good alternate to adhesive because it's strong like adhesive, like tape or whatever, but at the same time you don't have to worry about it sticking and just unspool it from your item and then you're good to go again?
Well, especially when I am gluing something, I will wrap it with wire so it doesn't budge. And it's like, okay, I got you glued in place, now I got you wrapped in place, because there is absolutely nothing worse than coming in the next day and finding out the cat decided for the first time in 8 years to rub up and down where you just glued because you did something.
So you could say that is critical redundancy.
Yeah.
On occasion, yes.
The thing about this, too, and I like that you mentioned I don't know what you call it, because I literally have a baggie in my toolbox with the most random stuff, because it's the same way, when you do a job I guess you and I have similar things, when you're a contractor where you're not doing the same job every day. One day you might be doing a lot more electrical, or you might be doing plumbing, or you might be doing whatever. It's like there's that one thing that slows you down. It's like, okay, do I really want to run to the big box store for this 20-cent item, literally a couple of washers or whatever? But when you have that junk bag, it saves you time, because losing an hour on the job, that's money, man. You can't do that. So it's like, and so it's funny. It's like you say, that bag gets used all the time, man. So
in terms of your guys' experience, what's probably, you said you kind of have to be a little bit you have to have a certain level of versatility. What would you say is the most dreaded part of having that versatility, in terms of jobs that you have to tackle, be it plumbing or electrical or whatever?
Oh, I can tell you this for me, Allan. It's the fact that when you know how to do a lot of things, you well, for one thing, you get asked to do it.
Yeah.
Allan's got it doubly bad because he owns a pickup truck. But mostly for me, it's like I wind up doing it at my own house instead of just paying somebody to do it because I refuse to pay somebody if I can do it myself. It's just sort of,
right.
So,
all right, Max, the worst part is when the phone call begins. Well, I was trying to do this when. And that's when you just kind of go, oh.
Yeah.
Now we got to do double work. I got to undo what you did.
Yeah.
And you don't remember how you did it. And then I got to fix the problem.
Right.
So despite what Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. He would say absolutely avoid the try.
Yeah, there is definitely try. Please do not try.
Right. Okay. So yeah, there it is. It's just really, and this could be anything for, just keep a few of these little random items in your junk drawer. Don't let people throw it out because you're going to need them. So, all right. Actually, we didn't tease this, but when we come back, we're going to talk about last minute Christmas gifts for tools.
Sure.
All right. Sounds good.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I'm describing a person, not something complicated like a wooden sailing ship or proper dovetail technique.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. Speaking of Allan Spices, I'll have another field report later. They're getting used quite a bit at my home. So
I'm very
had another
happy to hear
success
that.
story this week involving that and a crock pot. So
you're just all up in the 21st century now, aren't you?
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
Give me time. We'll, soon I'll...
You've moved past mayonnaise finally.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, we didn't tease this at the beginning, but I think this is very timely, and actually, this may even turn into a hot debate here. So, that's good, Max. I like this. So, let's talk about last minute Christmas gifts for the, we're still talking strictly tools. We're not talking about, I don't care about buying a fruitcake for somebody or anything. We're talking, what do you get somebody? And I guess there's different categories. What sort of last minute tools could you get for somebody that's maybe more experienced, or maybe somebody that's a newbie or something like that. So I wanted to just start, maybe this will stir things up. I wanted to start with something I would not buy.
Okay, what would you not buy?
Okay, but I got to make the caveat. I would buy this for somebody who's experienced. If I'm buying a gift for somebody that's brand new to tools, I would not buy them a Dremel set. And folks, if you don't know what that is, it's this sort of
miniature
universal.
tools.
It's miniature tools with like 50 different settings. Or 50 different little heads. You can put a little mini drill bit. You can put a mini sander. You can put a mini grinding stone or whatever. And the only reason I say that, Allan, is because anybody I just think you're never going to use it. It's too much. It's too over whatever. And plus, it's very specialized, in my opinion.
I mean,
I can't say I ever use a Dremel
I'm
myself.
not sure if I need a disclaimer for this, but I thought you could use it for like pedicures and manicures for your dog's claws.
No, some people could use it every day. I have a suspicion Allan probably uses the Dremel all the time. I don't. I'm just saying, though, for a newbie, I wouldn't start with that.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one for a newbie. But man, if you've got a crafter in the family, they would love you forever with all the little bits and pieces. And you got to be kind of aimed in that direction for that one. So yeah, I know they say beginner kit right here. No, that's not really for the beginner. It's just a good place to start, but it's not for the person that's not used to dealing with tools.
And plus, you know, I guarantee you're going to break things. Those little bits break. Those little sanders fall apart. Those, so anyway, I thought I'd get more pushback from you on that one, but
no, not really, because all right, tools, you got to have them. You got to have some kind of tool and I will salute the big box stores every year rolling into right after Halloween. The ridiculous things begin showing up in the main aisle.
Right.
Right now I just passed one. There's like a $300 very well-known brand name, super duper, I do everything but wash the dog air fryer for half price.
Right.
And you walk by and you go, all right, A, why is that here? B, is that really the model I just saw at the other place for $300?
Right.
And it is.
Is it because they're trying to clear out surplus?
Well, this is one of these things where when you get into supply chain, we had a little chat about this over on 98.1, was the amount of lost, misdirected, and overshipped merchandise is staggering.
Oh,
which
yeah.
kind of leads to your cosmic homeowner. But when you walk through the big box stores, especially right at early in the month of December, there is stuff that was hot items last year that are now in the original packing, ready to go for half price.
Right.
Great place to find a deal.
Well, they might have over-ordered. They might have whatever. So, yeah, definitely. Well, actually,
it didn't get delivered on time last year, so
Right.
it got held over. So, I mean, when you walk through, there's a great place to get a deal. I mean, I was at a big box hardware store and bought a really nice set of knives.
yeah.
And I was like, is that who I think it is? And is that what I think it is? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy those.
Right.
Of a really good quickie gift is not necessarily tools, Joe, but I'm going to throw in tool supplies.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
All right, well, you got somebody in your home that likes to work with tools. You personally don't know that much about tools. However, if they have a reciprocating saw, I promise you a pack of reciprocating saw blades, regardless of brand, would be greatly appreciated.
So you're
because they universally fit.
So you're suggesting ammunition over the gun itself?
Well, that is a fabulous way of putting it.
Well, that's true. What good is the gun without bullets?
If you know that mom or dad, because it could easily be mom these days, mom or dad has got a good power sander. Well, you can sneak out there with a tape measure and go, oh, that's got a 6-inch
Right.
little sandy pad on it. Well, you get them. I honestly, you get them a 50 pack of sanding pads.
Mm-hmm.
You got a happy tool worker.
Yeah.
This is sort of a blend of ammunition and tool because there's a certain like grade. Like my suggestion would be, well, this is coming from a person who is trying to be more tool savvy, but doesn't have all let's just say is in the acquiring stage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have everything just yet. I would personally welcome. I'm not suggesting the listeners get this for me, but a set of wrenches with the ratchet option at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Have you? So what is that called? Because it's open end. It's an open end wrench on one side, and on the bottom where it's the what do you call that?
That is a ratchet. That is a ratchet wrench.
Those things are awesome, man.
Yes.
Especially in tight zone, like if you're in a car.
Yeah, let's just say for my money, I didn't have one, but then someone let me use it when I was trying to tighten the post on my battery for my car.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
And they have more strength than you would think. So I mean,
the other thing is the cute kit.
That's on my list here.
Yeah, everybody has some kind of cute kit, and they come in different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get blue and pink and black and yellow, and they have different colors. So if you got somebody that likes a color, and to be honest, there's something in those little $19.99 every homeowner should own one kits.
Yeah,
that you can use, especially the hammer.
It's usually got like a hammer, a few screwdrivers, an adjustable wrench,
and
whatever. And those things are not bad stocking stuffers.
It's kind of weird. The number one used tool in my entire arsenal, and Joe, you know that I own one of everything, is honestly the 4-inch long, tiny little $1.99 throwaway flathead screwdriver.
Right.
Because it is like, it's the get out of jail free tool.
It's a chisel. It's a self-defense weapon. It's whatever.
It gets used for everything, including cleaning a fingernail every so often.
Right.
Would you also recommend, kind of going back to your ammo discussion, would you also recommend a surplus of batteries for your cordless tools?
Now, that is the gift of absolute perfection. If you know they have a brand, now not all the batteries are compatible, so you got to find out what brand that they made the commitment to.
Yeah.
And you go buy anybody a couple of batteries, you got a friend for the rest of the year.
Well, here's the thing, because I have that on my list too. What I have is like the ultimate gift for a newbie is basically most brands have like a starter kit. So it's like you might get a couple of drills and then a reciprocating saw and a sander and a flashlight or something for like $150, and it includes the battery. To me, that's almost like the drug dealer mentality. It's like they give it away free at the beginning. So it's a great value. I mean, that part of it is it's a variety pack. It's usually tools that you're going to use all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, the ironic thing is the batteries are like $100.
Yes.
If you just buy the battery by itself. So it's kind of like you don't go broke buying a printer. You go broke buying the printer ink.
Oh, no, Joe, that's just your experience at Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started about that. But anyway, I still think it's a great gift. And I mean, usually you can get by, the average homeowner can get by with a couple of batteries. So really, for a couple $100, or maybe $250, you've got a respectable toolkit that's battery powered and a couple of batteries, and you're in business for a while.
Oh yeah,
So
but batteries make a great gift. And again, take a look at the supplies.
Right,
that'll get you off the hook for buying the big stuff. But yeah, batteries and supplies, man, your tool person's gonna adore you.
Yeah. Perfect. So, all right, so a couple of last-minute gift-giving ideas, and we'd love to hear your gift-giving ideas. So get in touch with us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline, 901-683-0989. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Allan's going to talk about repurposing furniture.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I could get a fish for a 5-cent worm.
Oh, you're paying way too much for worms, man. Who's your worm guy?
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
That's the gift you need to give your loved one for Christmas.
8 pounds of worms. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. How do you wrap that? I'm Joe Thorderson with Doors Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from allanspices.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, you should know that today is CRT, or cathode ray tube day. And if you don't know what that is, think of the tube that made those old-fashioned televisions work. Mm-hmm. I say old-fashioned, Alan, is from our childhood. So
yes.
Let's not get too high and mighty here. So.
And when you read about them now in history, your children will look at you and go, "How did you live?"
Yeah, because we were talking off the air about that. I seem to remember TVs being like literally, they weighed a ton. They
were huge.
And didn't they give off some heat in the back? And I even seem to remember certain TV screens in the front giving off heat as a kid.
Oh, and the static electricity and the zap that you could get off of those things.
When you go to change a channel. And it was always like, because you didn't have a remote control. It's like the youngest kid was always in charge of
you were the
up
remote control.
I remember actually going to like my grandmother's house, and she had a television that was like, it was more quote-unquote modern CRT, but I do remember getting a static experience from that.
You'll remember that static experience as a kid, for sure. So, and then there was the ones where when it was a dial TV, like where you had to sort of fine-tune, and you're standing there, and then you just got the picture looking good, then you sit down, and it got staticky again. It's like, I guess you were working as an antenna or something.
And every time, I remember a football game in my youth where I literally was put in a small chair and told, "Sit here."
Yeah, it's just different, man. It's interesting. So we would never have gotten to where we are now without the...
well, the CRT taught us what an electron gun was.
It did it. Okay.
This was a technology where we discovered RGB, red, green, and blue, could make up every color that we can see. And
I thought yellow's in there.
No, it's RGB. Red, green, blue, and black.
Now, I bet artists out there are going to have a debate
about that. That's a CYMK. That is in your Pantone colors. We're talking about a cathode ray tube, and it was an RGB because you had 3 phosphors in every port, a red one, a green one, and a blue one, and the cathode ray gun would fire electrons at it, and it would colorize each one of those little phosphors in order. This is why televisions for many, many years, if you went to buy one, they talked about the refresh rate or the number
Did they
of...
back then?
Yeah, I sold TVs back then.
Oh.
We talked about stuff like that. And but what this gun did was it aimed electrons at a very specific point, and when it moved fast enough, it created the illusion of a moving picture. Now, the cool thing was, if you remember a Western when you were a little kid, all the wagon wheels went backwards.
That's what I was just thinking. When you said that, I was thinking of car wheels and wagon wheels, where it's like, why is a spoke spinning backwards?
Because the timing of the wheel versus the refresh rate of the screen created the illusion of it going backwards. Because see, the other cool thing you could do was take an egg beater, take your little your home cake making kit, and turn the little dial until you got that beater going in sync with the TV, and it would look like the beater was standing still.
Is that kind of like the helicopter wing illusion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
That is
All the
exactly
blades
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So welcome to the technology that got us to here today. Without this technology, we would not have the advances in radio. We would not have the advances in these beautiful little flat screens that we have now.
My command center.
Your little command center would look drastically different 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm just thinking, I do remember what a hassle it was trying to just get a picture tuned in, and I can't imagine what it was like for people that lived in more remote places. I guess if you lived on a farm in the middle of I don't know how you were watching TV back then.
Well, let's be honest. Your house and my house were both designed for a CRT.
Well,
AKA your living room was deep enough to put that 2-foot deep giant wooden box with a television in it.
Kind of makes me think of how back in the day homes were built with like dining rooms in mind, and now we hardly use dining rooms. And so it's a legacy thinking thing to where maybe back in the early days, like homes were built with important structures, important tools in mind.
Yeah, because my house was built in 1952, so they would have probably said, there's this newfangled thing that's coming out.
Yeah,
and
so we need to put this wall right here so we can put that big old TV right in front of it.
Yeah.
Now, the house I just built for a client has a wall with a huge flat area in it that is reinforced by 2x6s all the way down so you can hang your 100-inch TV on the wall.
There you go.
There is no floor space allocated for a television.
Yep. It's interesting, too. Gosh, not to beat this into the ground, but, I was just thinking about what a hassle it was to get a reception, and I wonder if that's what got people thinking about satellite dishes and things like that, because they're really not that practical anymore. I mean, does anybody even own satellite dishes? Most people stream, of course, but I'm just thinking I could see where it's like, look, just give me the biggest antenna possible and just let me put that in my yard. I don't care. I'm tired of getting up and tuning the TV in or something. There
was an entire technology for 30, 40 years devoted just to that.
There you go. So, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, CRT day. And also there were safety concerns, we should say, because there was heat that came out of these. And I seem to remember, too, like certain times of the year, it's Christmas and you've got this big TV that's basically a piece of furniture. So that might be where you put your nativity scene and you put your fabric cloth underneath. Well, if that's blocking the vents on the back of the TV, that could be a fire hazard.
Oh, it could cook them.
Yeah.
So Melchior's up in flames now, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just interesting.
Well, as a safety, since we're going to be talking about spring cleaning coming up, if you're cleaning out a storage room or something and you come across one of these things, please be careful with it because it is a vacuum tube.
Yeah.
There is no air in that tube, and if you crack it, they can actually pop, fling glass, or explode.
Yeah, probably better to just not plug it in and just look at it as an antique piece.
Just move it on to be safely disposed of.
And plus, I don't think you get a signal anymore without an updated antenna Or I don't even know
No, it
if
would
you
not
could.
work because that was an old analog system, and we no
Right.
longer broadcast analog signals.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, in a minute, we're going to get to Allan's weekend. Well, no, I don't know if this is your weekend review or if this is Allan's repurposing segment. But before we do that, let's talk about our good friends over at Groundworks, because Groundworks is all about the protection and the health of the foundation of your home. And, of course, foundations come in all shapes and sizes. Even depending on what elevation you live on. You might live on a hill, or maybe you live at the bottom of a hill, or maybe you live on a flat plane, or maybe you have a basement or a crawl space or a slab. Any combination of those. But regardless, every foundation faces their own challenges, and you may have foundation issues that they're not very obvious at first. And as we say, maybe you're looking up at a problem when you should be looking down. If you've got those stair-step cracks on your bricks, or cracks over your doorways and windows, or that odd musty smell coming from that one room, well, that could be an indication of a foundation problem. And there's nobody better than our friends over at Groundworks. So what we suggest, call Groundworks. They're going to come out. It's a free inspection, and they're going to bring their detecting gear. They're going to do a comprehensive inspection of your foundation, and then they're going to sit down with you and show you what they found. Hopefully, what they find is nothing. Hopefully, you got a really great foundation and you're good to go. But if you have any problems, from the smallest problems to the biggest, they can help you. They're fully equipped. Allan's seen their setup, and it's pretty impressive. And this includes commercial foundation problems. They're able to help you with all of those. And so we really think it's almost just a no-brainer. If you own a business or if you own a home, you should really get Groundworks out there to do an inspection and give you that peace of mind that you need. So call Groundworks. You can get in touch with them at 901-459-2290, or go to groundworks.com and book your free inspection today. So, all right, well, Allan, we got just enough time to maybe tease this, but is this a weekend review, or is this more or less just
Oh, the humanity.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Is that what people do when they open your presents, or no?
No, it's just an excuse for me to push the button.
Okay. So
No, I love it when I'm standing there and somebody says, text it to me, and I text it to you, and I find out what my ringtone is.
Oh.
That's when I'm just kind of like, really? Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my world revolves around answering the phone. And the phone call begins.
Well, it's your own fault because you pick it up and you talk to people.
Yeah,
Why do you do that, man?
And, the call begins with, okay, I have this chest, and it's going to make a great table. And my next words are, no, it ain't.
Bing. Oh, okay. Because I thought you and I were going to have a debate on this, but I bet you and I are going to be in full agreement on
Well,
this.
I'm going to go completely Joe on my friend.
Oh, good.
And it's kind of like, no, you're not. It's not designed to be a table. It don't want to be a table. It's going to fail miserably as a table.
Okay. All right. So this is repurposing fails then. Okay. When you sent me the picture, I had okay, well, cool. So Allan and I are going to really pile drive your friend and shoot down their ideas. So, okay.
Yep. But I think you're going to love the solution.
Okay. So stand by for all that action when we come back here on Tool Talk Radio.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I've been going door to door looking for fire hazards. Mind if I give your place a little inspection?
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
I don't think Fire Marshal Bill took into account the cathode ray televisions.
No, he's clueless on that one. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, well, we've been at it. As Max indicated, today is, I don't know if it's national or international, but it's Cathode Ray Tube Day, which if you had an old-fashioned television, which, I mean, I'm saying old-fashioned, but if you had a television the way it was built originally, it has a cathode ray tube, and we're sort of celebrating that. And actually, I think that even activated the text line. Is that right, Mac?
Leave it to Norman Rockwell.
Yeah, he just can't. He's always got to put his 2 cents in.
He's got, man, bring it on, Norman.
What does
Bring
Norman
it on.
have to say?
Well, first off, Angel also said that she uses her Dremel, but that's because she's a little bit more of a seasoned pro or crafty, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah, I was making the distinction. I'm not throwing Dremel under the bus. I'm saying don't buy it for somebody that's never used tools. It's going to sit
It's
in a
not gonna
closet
get
and never
used.
get used.
Yeah.
So, all right, thanks, Angel. We appreciate that. But
So Norman Rockwell said, just an FYI, my Sony GT-Matic console TV with a digital converter sitting next to my 1915 Victrola works just fine.
okay, but he used an important phrase there: the digital converter.
It does. It's got a digital converter. And Norman, I'm so sorry you've never seen the true color red. Welcome to a Sony.
Yeah, don't try to watch Star Trek on that one. You're going to get a weird experience.
Well, if you watched Star Trek on a Sony, everybody had that kind of orangey red shirt.
Yeah.
Then you watched it on a Sylvania and you went, wow, that's kind of blood red over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, different brands produce their RGB slightly differently.
But Norman Rockwell, I would love a follow-up text. Is this your primary source of television viewing?
No.
Is that the go-to TV that he has in his home?
No, but it's an awesome
old-fashioned
old TV, though. Those were some great televisions.
Okay, let's find out more about that. So basically, a digital converter. I mean, I guess in fairness, people, things were just built more. They were built to last back then. So I guess in theory, if you kept updating it, you could probably get more years out of it. I don't know, but
it will wear out eventually, but the fact that he's still got it going is just awesome.
Good for him. I mean, he's living. Norman Rockwell's out there living his best life.
He is.
Good for him.
Or is it more like he has his grandma on hospice and that's what the TV is to him?
I don't know. Or maybe
man.
Norman's just bored and he needs something. He needs a better hobby or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, he's
I'm
out
going to
there.
go with living best life.
I think so too. So, all right. Well, Allan, you got me going on this one. This was pretty good because you sent me a thing about basically turning a chest or turning something into a piece of just basically repurposing it or using it for a different function.
Right.
You sent me a picture of a really beautiful chest.
I
it
did.
was like I don't know, it had some carvings on it. It looked Asian, I think.
Yep, very Asian looking.
Yeah.
It's a really old chest. It's about in the 50 to 70-year-old range.
Okay.
So
it's not that old. That doesn't sound old to me anymore. But
yeah.
yeah.
Now that we're antiques, that doesn't sound that old. But
And they want to make a coffee table out of it.
they want to make a coffee table.
And I was laughing, and I made notes about what a dumb idea that was.
Well,
but go ahead.
hit your notes. Hit your notes.
I
Let's
said,
see if you
okay.
and I agreed.
Okay, well, for one thing, basically, you're going to have no leg room.
Mm-hmm.
That was my big thing. And the tops of chests generally there's nothing underneath reinforcing it. So if you put a vase or if you put anything on there, it's eventually going to sag, maybe even collapse. Or if you put your feet up on it, you're going to, I don't know. I just didn't see the value of it. I think a chest is a cool thing as an accoutrement or something in the room, but let the chest be the chest is my feeling. But
Okay, well, I'm going to disagree at that point, and I'm going to tell you what I did.
Okay.
I said, all right, you know what? It ain't going to be a table. It's not going to happen. It's not designed to be a table.
Right.
And the problem is...
We're talking about a trunk, basically.
Yeah, you got no place to put feet. It's
Yeah.
not designed to have legs or rollers. It's
Right.
a chest.
Yeah.
Just end of the story. It's a chest. It's designed to sit on the floor. It's not designed to be elevated to coffee table height.
Okay.
So
I'm about to contradict myself, but go ahead. You just gave me I wonder if you and I had the same solution
And I
here.
said, what you are going to do is measure the bottom of this thing.
Okay.
Look at the bottom of this thing. You're going to come in about an inch from the size of it. You're going to go cut yourself a nice piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and you're going to attach your legs to that. You're going to make a platform. And then
you're elevating it.
now you've got all the strength and everything you need to support the chest, to support the weight, to handle the feet or casters, whichever you prefer. I would say casters. That way you can roll it around and clean underneath it easier than the regular table.
Mm-hmm.
And now your problems are solved. And if you want to flip the chest over and position it carefully and use a construction adhesive to attach it, then you would have the appropriate height, appropriate size, and appropriately supported casters or legs.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, you're just
giving them a place to put their feet. Not a lot of room, but it's enough so you're not.
It's a conversation piece type thing, and of course, you can always get a piece of plexiglass to go across the top of it to protect it.
Okay, because the top is where I was going with my idea. So, all right. Well, my thought was, are they storing things in this chest that they get to regularly?
No.
Okay, because my thought was, I was railing against what a dumb idea this was, and then I thought, well, actually, you could make something pretty cool with this.
Yes.
My idea was to get yourself a piece of glass, like obviously it's a tempered glass. You could have like a round piece, or you could have a rectangular piece or something. And if it hung, I'm picturing a big piece of glass. Maybe it hangs over 8 inches or so around the chest. And suddenly, and if you got those little clear rubber grippy things,
right,
it'll probably be heavy enough just with its own weight to sit on it.
Oh yeah.
Then you can see the chest still, and you made yourself basically, you've given yourself more space. And you can now have leg room and everything else, and you protect the top from getting all dusty or damaged. So, and actually, we did almost that exact same thing in our living room. It wasn't a chest. It was this cool little end table thingy that we stuck a round piece of glass, and I love it. So I guess I'm sort of a hypocrite. Actually, this sounds pretty cool now that I'm thinking of it.
Well,
but yeah.
the name of the game is you've got to provide what's needed.
Leg room.
Well, the big thing is the tension and the support.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
it's gotta be
you are going to
too.
break it. Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are going to break it. So the thing is, look at what you got. Think about what you want out of this in the end product.
Yeah.
Do you need a functional chest as part of an end product? Well, in that case, cut a piece of plexiglass to go across the top, the exact size, and now you do have the ability to open and close the chest and put your game pieces or checkerboard or whatever in there.
Now, maybe it's also the idea of, the whole notion of reinventing the wheel. Maybe this is reinventing the chest where it could potentially function if we modify it to, become multi-purpose.
Max, I think I've seen furniture where they almost did that, like what you're saying, like the top is slicker, or maybe it's a little hardier, and it actually serves a purpose of being a chest. But I think it also had legs, like Allan's saying. They might have even been collapsible or something, but so.
All right, the funnest one.
Chests are cool looking if they're made well. They're a nice piece of furniture.
I remember a few years back, we did a steamer chest the same way for a client. And she was a big cat person. So what we ended up doing was drilling a big 6-inch hole in either end of it. It was a brand new steamer trunk. It was nothing of any value and basically made the coolest looking coffee table / cat condominium you ever saw.
Yeah. I bet it smelled great after a month too. So,
no,
all right, I don't know about that one.
I don't know if I can. In there. That's all.
I don't know if I can get behind that idea. But anyway, okay. Well, hour 1 of Tool Talk Radio is in the can, but believe me, we have an action-packed second hour coming up.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And in a minute, we are going to get to our Cosmic Homeowner segment, but I can already let's take care of some business really quick, Allan, because there's obviously people that are just waking up, or maybe they just turned the radio on. They're kicking themselves. They're pulling their hair out. They're disgusted with themselves for missing the first hour of Tool Talk Radio, but they needn't fear, right? There's always hope.
They can fear not. All they got to do is pop over to tooltalkradio.com, and you can catch up on, honestly, absolute years of content. We are a featured podcast literally around the world. Hello, Venezuela, since you guys just popped up in the last couple of weeks.
Interesting.
Yes. You can track us around the world on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you obtain your podcasting.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I mean, all the episodes are saved. So never fear.
We're not going anywhere ever.
Now, Allan, we're 5 days away from Christmas, and there may be people that need some last-minute Christmas ideas for that, maybe that cook or that chef in their life. And
or better yet, your co-host that didn't know where a kitchen was a few weeks ago.
Right. Well, we're enjoying Allan's spices over at our house. My wife she just made a big with the crock pot, made a big hearty vegetable and chicken stew, I would call that, and there was 3 of your spices that got used.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I love hearing how people are enjoying it, and I'm just absolutely getting inundated with everybody sending me pictures.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm probably going to
dish.
launch I'm going to launch a pictorial review next year of everybody's food.
That's not a bad idea, man.
It's been pretty amazing. But yeah, you can just pop over to allansspices.com. My name's got 2 L's and 2 A's. ALLAN.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spice. And also, if you can't wait and you want to go shopping today, head over to Cordova, right?
Right over in Cordova at a place called the Painted Tree. It is booth B20. And as a matter of fact, I'll even be there this afternoon between 2 and 4.
Yeah, Allan will be there autographing his cans of spice.
I actually autograph spice bottles. It is actually kind of silly.
All right, let's not get full of ourselves. Okay, but no, they're good stuff, Allan, and they're all made here locally.
Yes, everything is produced here in Memphis.
No, pretty cool, man. And get a nice variety. They make great gifts. And actually, you also have some barbecue sauce. There's other things coming down the pipe.
Oh, yeah. We got a really good hot sauce. Got some barbecue sauces, good blends. Okay. Everything's ready to go.
All right. Excellent. So, all right. Now, we've been teasing this for the last 2 weeks, so it's time to finally get to it, Max.
And now, the Cosmic Homeowner.
Oh, very
on
good.
Tool Talk Radio.
Is that Star Trek-y enough for it? I mean, boy, that's right out of Art Bell or something, man. That's very good. Yeah. Okay, Max, I like that. I like the music, too. So, well, the Cosmic Homeowner, if you're sort of new to Tool Talk Radio, it's basically approaching us from the fact that, okay, your home isn't just situated in a neighborhood. Your home is situated on a planet, and it's situated on tectonic plates, and it's there's in a galaxy, and we're basically hurling through the galaxy on a spaceship that's there's a lot of things going on here, and having a bigger picture of what's going on makes you a better homeowner, in our opinion. So, well, Allan, I was fascinated this is something there, how there's these problems in the world that I just if it makes sense when you find out about it, but at the time you're never thinking about it. Like, this is something it would never have occurred to me that we have a textile crisis, you could say, and part of the problem is that while we have these fashions that come into fashion right away, it's like the hot thing this year, but then maybe next year it's out of fashion or something like that.
Kind of like what you were saying about tools earlier, like at the big box stores.
Yeah, well, this I would say is even more of a thing. It's like, and as a kid, I don't know, man. It just seems like there's these trends and there's these things that come out. Well, if a bunch of clothes come out and stores buy them and then they don't sell, and then the next hot thing comes in and they got to make room for the new fashions coming in. Well, where do these things go? They wind up, what we're finding is for example, in Africa, a lot of them get shipped to Africa, and they have a textile mountain over there. These things are causing an ecological problem. You got to dispose of textiles. There's dyes, and there's even plastics, and there's all sorts of things. And so, never fear, folks. We've got a few solutions in here. But Allan, this is a real crisis. Now, as I say, you and Max and I are doing our part by not being fashionable, and by basically all the clothes I buy, I wear them until they wear out. I don't really donate my clothes because there's nothing left to donate. I'll toss them when they're done. But so we're not really wasting our textiles, but it's a problem, man.
Well, if you want to look something up, look up clothes mounted in Chile.
Do they have another one over there?
Well, the big one that you can actually see from space is in the Atacama Desert. So, it's a desert, so nothing's breaking down. It's just going to lay there in the dry.
What happens? And it probably aerates, right? If it's dry and it's getting baked, and then it starts falling apart, it starts floating in the air. Right?
Oh, this is just
nothing about it.
It is absolutely staggering. You can go online and take a picture of it. It is basically an illegal landfill of fashion, and it is so big and has been added to by so many places and companies. It is actually visible from space.
Didn't the movie Zoolander kind of touch on this a little bit?
Did it? That's a funny movie.
It kind of weirdly went there a little bit. So, so welcome to just staggering amounts of trash.
Well, I got a statistic here, Alan. It says 11.3 million tons of basically clothing and textiles going to landfills every year. Okay, that's getting a little out of hand, man. And these, like we say, okay, if you're thinking of like a cotton shirt or something, that's probably a lot more biodegradable, but not all clothes are made of that. As a matter of fact, today, I mean, pants and everything, when you get into polyesters and all that, you're basically talking about plastic.
Yeah,
right?
More or less.
And
you're
weird
looking
dyes
at
and
oil
stuff.
products, right?
Right.
So, from a cosmic homeowner point of view, you wind up with two competing problems. One, you don't want junk piling up on you.
Yeah.
But I would say be the conspicuous or the concerned consumer in the fact that, well, do you really need this stuff? Do you really need this at this point in time and junction, or are you,
Well, I'm looking at the clothing manufacturers on this one, Alan. Okay, I feel like they have a real obligation to make Okay, if this stuff was biodegradable, I'd say, okay, fine. No harm, no foul. But, I mean, maybe they need to start using more natural products. It's the same with plastics. I mean, we have the technology now where you can start making plastics out of mycelium and mushrooms and algae and stuff. So making things that break down, to me, seems like the first step. And it comes from, I think it's manufacturers need to start thinking differently. And, they're the ones cranking this stuff out.
Well, the thing is, people vote with their dollars.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Let's just say, let's reverse this, and let's say everybody goes, well, what can I do? Well, your individual personal choices, whether you're at the big box store, you're looking at batteries, you're looking at how to dispose of light bulbs or that type of thing. There are mechanisms available for you to dispose of these things and dispose of them properly. So if you have batteries, your big box store will take the battery back. Certain types of light bulbs, you can have those returned. When you make your clothing purchases, you are voting with your dollars as to what they're going to make next is going to be based on what did you buy.
Well, it's kind of like, I guess now that you're saying that, Alan, it reminds me of like when we go to the store these days, like my wife and I have gotten into where we spend a little bit more for eggs that are like cage free. So these are eggs that came from chickens that aren't cooped up in a cage. They get to free range. So like we tend towards free range, proteins and stuff like that. So I guess that is voting with your dollar.
Yep.
So
the biggest way to make an impact is especially this time of year, we're all buying gifts and stuff like that. Think about the packaging, think about the shipping, think about of all of the things that it takes to get a product to you, because the other thing to remember is all of this stuff got there somehow.
Yeah.
So a truck, a vehicle of some kind is involved.
And also, it's probably the other thing, too, is if you've got some clothes and if you're one of these that you're constantly up on the latest fashion, well, don't just throw that stuff out or whatever. Donate it. There's plenty of charities in town that would love to, if you bag it up, and you drop it off, it would be greatly appreciated. So, but actually, there's a solution. There's one solution that we're going to talk about it's a company doing some good work in tackling the textile crisis, and we're going to talk about that when we come back here on Tool Talk Radio.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I thought I told you. I do the cutting around here.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, we're in the middle of our cosmic homeowner discussion, talking about really what I would call the textile crisis in the world. We have all these clothes, all these textiles that go to waste, and they get shipped off to different countries, and they're basically piling up. As we said, Allan talked about what is it, Chile, or they have they have almost just, you can see it from space. It is just a textile dump. I'd call it a landfill, but it's not under the ground. It's just
laying on top of the Atacama Desert.
Over in Africa, they have a textile mountain, and this stuff's, so there's 11.3 million tons of textiles going to landfills every year, and that's a problem because not all of it is biodegradable. In fact, most of it isn't. So, but there's a company out there, Allan. Now, okay, I salute what they're doing, but I think there's also going to be, maybe ramifications with this. But there's a company out there called Fab Brick, as you can see, BRICK, where basically they're making, for lack of a better term, bricks or tiles, you could say, out of discarded fabrics. They grind them up, and then they use an eco-friendly glue, and they're using, some of them part of it's decorative, but part of it is for like insulating your house. Part of it is, some people use it as, a visual aesthetic. I don't know. It's not my look.
It's a noble crusade, but the only problem is that it's from France.
Okay, thanks, Max. Yeah.
Wow.
I was wondering why whenever you read where the Spotify listeners are every week, you never hear about France out there. So, yeah.
We do have followers in France.
Okay, well, Max, guard your tongue. But the thing is, hey, good for them. It's basically, it's a way to, so they're collecting a lot of waste. People drop off their textiles, and they're taking a waste product and making something useful out of it, which I think that's cool. And they're using eco-friendly glue. So, I mean, that part of it is noble, and apparently it insulates really well. It's got soundproofing, capabilities and stuff. But my question, Allan, is, okay, it's still made of material that is not biodegradable. So, okay, it's fixing a problem now, but in 50 years, when these tiles, I don't know, wear out or they have to be replaced, it's still made of a product that's not biodegradable. So, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
I guess it's kicking the can down the road a bit.
Well, it is.
I still think we got to change the way we make stuff. That's at the heart of this.
Well, we do, but the fact is that it has now been sequestered.
AKA,
we've taken something that was free range, and we have now locked it in place so we know where it is.
Okay.
So instead of it being just a waste material out in the world, it has now been turned into a usable product.
Right. Okay.
Now, 50 years from now, when we are renovating and replacing that product, we will have, if we thought the last 50 years was amazing in technologies and changes and updates, wait till you see the next 50. So by the time that brick is ready to be replaced, I am sure that there will be 4 more generations of technology in handling it that will make handling it infinitely easier.
Well, that's what I keep wondering. I hope the future of technology is going to involve, I almost call this a transition period, where it's like, okay, first of all, problem A is let's start manufacturing things that are biodegradable. Let's make plastics that are more, eco-friendly and all this. And then let's come up with technology to safely discard all the rotten stuff that we produced in the last 100 years, like asbestos and whatever else. So, but anyway, I salute them. Good for you, Fab Bricks over in France, Max. But they're trying, man. They're doing, and I think that's sort of going to be the answer for a while, is repurposing junk, basically. So
repurposing is always a good option.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, let's shift gears. We teased this, and we wanna get this one taken care of too, Max.
Now, Tool Tales with Tool Talk Radio.
I brought this up last week, and if I'm trying to stir up a little controversy on this show. So it's like, but Allan, I'm calling this primer on primers, and it's basically because if you go to the big box store and you say, or you send somebody to the big box store, especially the newer, the newbie, say pick up a can of primer. Well, You don't just do that, right? I mean, there's any number of primers to pick up.
It depends on your purpose. Yes.
Yeah. So,
for me, sheetrock walls are primed with whatever color paint I'm not going to be using.
no. Paint or okay, so well, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this because I get this all the time. Somebody says, "Oh, okay, I've got the," and I'm probably going to, hopefully Kills isn't going to want to sponsor the show anytime soon. But here's my thing. Now, Kills makes, KILZ.
Right.
Everybody has seen it. Kills makes a lot of different products.
I use it constantly.
But
yes.
I think people overuse one particular product. If you go to the big box store.
So it's overkills?
Overkill, exactly, Max. So somebody will say, well, I always use Kills on this such and such, and I cringe. Okay, for example, perfect example, you have a water stain on your sheetrock ceiling, right?
Right.
And somebody goes, well, let's put Kills on it.
Right.
Because we want to cover the stain. Well, it will cover the stain. For water damage, you do usually want an oil-based product. Because if you use a latex primer, it's going to bleed through whatever. So, but what I don't like, Allan, is Kills dries with a kind of shellacky kind of finish, right?
Yes.
And ceiling paint is not going to stick to it. I don't care. You can, so it'll cover the stain, but then when you go to paint over it, it's going to separate or it's going to crack or whatever. At some point, it's going to fail. That's what I don't like about Kills. So
I'm just wondering how much Kills they're putting on there.
Well, it's still a slick surface that's basically oil based, and now you're trying to put a flat latex paint over it. So.
Yeah.
Now, there are products for this. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. I do a horrible little cheat.
Okay.
Anytime I have to paint over a product like Kills.
I bet you and I do the same thing. Go ahead.
Probably not, because my cheat is an aerosol can.
Okay. Talk to me.
Just chugga, the cheapest possible, closest to the color I can get. Just spray paint. Like I'm going to go tag somebody's wall. And I just go real light, real quick. And now I have a surface that my other paint will stick to perfectly.
Okay, I wonder if we're talking about the same thing. What sort of a sheen are you talking about?
I'm talking about just flat, plain, cheap, the cheapest possible aerosol paint in a can.
Okay, that was my thing. Because, like, when we're talking about primers, there's latex primers, there's oil-based primers. Right. Well, the biggest thing I think you have to think about is the sheen. Because, like, there's another one that Kills makes that basically dries flat.
Right.
And you can spray it on there. And I'm like, okay, a flat finish has a much better chance of having the paint, any kind of paint, stick to it. My tendency is always to get a primer that dries flat whenever possible. Yes. So
yeah, I agree.
Shoot, we're not disagreeing on anything, Max. We're kind of
well, after years of trying and dying, I mean, my gosh. Case in point, wall I was working on yesterday.
Yeah.
I did not put that wall in. I had nothing to do with it. Whoever painted it, you would have lost your mind.
Yeah.
Because the finished paint had some kind of weird texture to it.
Oh, yeah.
So
it was trendy in the early 90s.
It was, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we're in there, and it's just kind of like, just give me the sander. And they're like, what? And I'm like, just move.
Yeah.
Turn off the air conditioning, turn on the vent, power sand, 30 seconds. And this wall, that weird, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Stucco kind of.
That weird, it wasn't really, it was like stucco starter, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so now I got a smooth wall to work with, and now it looks better. And now I can get a decent paint up there and have a decent paint job without it feeling weird.
But that, once again, now that requires a sheetrock primer. Like, they make primer that, and plus you got to dust really well. But But yeah, that's another one where you definitely want a latex primer on that. So
well, yeah, and in a future episode, I will bring in the world's greatest vacuum cleaner, by the way, and it is a new invention, and it is staggeringly good.
If I would have to just bullet point this, I would say if you're trying to cover like a water stain, an oil-based primer is the way to go.
Yep.
But get one that dries flat. And if you want something to bond and to adhere to, things like sheetrock or wall for walls, I like a good bonding primer. It's called bonding primer, and it's usually latex.
Right.
So, okay. All right. Well, we were in full agreement, and, I didn't stir up any debate, but at least we gave out some information. So
You got a lot of good advice.
all right. So in honor of the Christmas season, Allan, in our Great Moments in Building History, is going to bring us a structure that is apparently haunted and has tormented visitors for years, the McRaven House in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I assure you, Lord Vader, my men are working as fast as they can.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, it's way too much to recap, and I'm not even going to bother. As we said, you can go back and listen to all of our past shows so you can get caught up that way. So in a minute, we're going to get to our great moments in building history. But before we do that, let's talk about our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling, who is way overdue for a visit. I can only imagine, Allan, with the weather we've had recently, he's probably pretty much,
He's been a very busy man.
Would you be safe to say that he doesn't have any fashion sense either?
I don't know. Now, I'm not going to say that about Jay. So yeah, Jay. Yeah. we don't insult our sponsors, Max. But I don't know. Maybe he. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that next time he comes in. But what we do want to talk about is his roofing and his remodeling expertise, and the fact that Big M Roofing and Remodeling is all about the exterior protection of your home. From roofing to gutters to siding to windows, and all interior and exterior remodeling except kitchens and bathrooms. So he doesn't really want any part of that. That's, he needs to get in there, get the job done, and get on to his next project. So, but when it comes to roofing especially, we always showcase the fact that Jay is, he really is. He's always 5 stars with the Better Business Bureau, which means something because, these are customers singing the praises of Jay Hill's work. He's a GAF Master Elite Installer. And one of the things about GAF is that they're always at the cutting edge of roofing technology, and the roofs that they put on are really, these are roofing systems. They work, they are very well engineered, and they work so well that they offer lifetime transferable warranties. This is just a great product. And it works in harmony with your gutters and your siding and your windows. So, you want all of these things that are protecting the outside of your home to work together. And there's nobody better to call than Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling. Also, what sets Jay apart is the fact that he is a former insurance agent, which is hugely helpful because sometimes you have a situation where there may be damage to your home, and the question comes up, is this thing going to be covered by my homeowner's insurance? And Jay really should be the first person you call because it matters who you call first. If you call Jay, he's going to come out. For one thing, it's a free inspection. If there's damage that does appear to be covered by your homeowner's insurance, he can help you navigate that entire claims process. And then he takes something that's very scary and daunting and intimidating, and he turns it into something very exciting. And Allan and I had our roofs replaced in that very way, and it was a pretty cool prospect. And so he can help you with that regard. And the nice thing about Jay, too, is because of his business savvy, he keeps his overhead low, which means that all of his pricing is competitive. So when you call Jay, you're going to probably be very amazed at the quote that he gives you. And he always wants you to call him directly. He's got a very dynamic and enthusiastic personality. You're going to enjoy working with Jay. So when you call, you're going to talk directly to him. So give Jay a call right now. You can reach him at 901-484-5645 or go to bigmroofingandremodeling.com. All right, well, here we go, guys.
And now, great moments in building history.
And if I haven't made it clear, I just want to reiterate, this is Allan's choice. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's talk about a haunted mansion.
Well,
right?
This is like the Die Hard effect.
Jeez, okay.
Well, all right.
You just had enough of Christmas cheer or what? I mean,
no, not at all. This
Okay.
is all about repurposing, renewal, preservation, and making the best of what you got.
Yeah, when I was Googling this, I didn't find any of that. All I found were stories about it. This place is haunted, and I spent the night in this place. And
that's like looking up that's like looking up the Victoria Village here in Memphis. The first thing you got to say is, "Ooh, it's got a ghost tour. It's got a ghost tour." Yeah, okay, who cares?
So this is the McRaven House in
This is the
Vicksburg,
McRaven
Mississippi.
House, Vicksburg, Mississippi. Way back in 1797, there was a little fishing spot down there called Walnut Hills. And this was basically French law in 1797. And a gentleman by the name of Andrew Glass built himself a little shack.
Okay.
There
For
you
fishing?
go. Boom. You know, go fishing, hunting, do your stuff, got a little farming going on. And due to a unique twist in French law, so long as there was not a staircase inside the building, it was a one-story building.
Wait, so are you saying you could put stairs on the outside?
So this is why so much of the French architecture we see through southern Mississippi and Louisiana, there are so many staircases outside.
Isn't that kind of like, I've seen that also like in like Les Miserables, where it's like they have like their apartments arranged that way.
Yes. So because of a twist in the French law on how to evaluate a property for taxation, the exterior staircase did not count as an additional story.
This explains a lot about how the French build their cars.
Because
their cars. Nobody builds weirder cars than the French.
I thought you were trying to salute them like with their fabrics, and now
I
you're
don't know.
getting on to me for that.
He's
it's
picking on
easy
him now,
to jump
too.
on Max's side and throw him under the bus.
Because of this, welcome to a certain building style that is still prevalent in what we call the Victorian era today. So this is where a lot of outside building was done. So as the house aged, it was never torn down. It just got a new owner, and each owner that came in did a little something else. They built a little onto it. The house has aimed, the face of the house has literally walked all the way around the house over the years.
So it was either north, south, east, or west.
Well,
at any
because
given
whoever
time.
came in next, because another owner that had it was the sheriff in 1836. And he added a middle dining room, he added a bedroom, and he liked of the blocky, not going to say brutalist, but more empirical building style.
Well, he was a sheriff. He was just down for business. He just needed to get the job done.
It's kind of blocky and like a prison. So he was there, and prior to the Civil War, it was owned by a man named Bob, and it was at that point called the Bob House. And he was a Greek revivalist.
Yeah.
So again, he rebuilt the entire exterior of the home. Now, keep in mind, each iteration of this, the original house is still in the middle of all this.
So they just built around and around.
You just keep building around and around and around and around, and the house keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Mr. Bob's house was pretty fair-sized. It was big enough, the grounds around it were actually used as hospital sites.
Oh, so we're talking Civil War times now.
So we're talking Civil War battlements, and it's close enough to the river that it kept getting caught in crossfires.
Oh, great. Okay.
So,
well, I wondered, this place must be located in a desirable area, right? Because why wouldn't they just tear it down, or why wouldn't it just get abandoned?
This was good stuff.
So it's location.
What type of soil was there?
Well, that's a very funny story because right after the Civil War ended, they decided we were going to do again some renovation because the house got caught in crossfires and took a number of cannon blasts. So there are now some new holes. There was no window, now there was a window.
Well, they already did the demo for them. So why
they
not
already
just,
blew a hole through the wall. So they put in some windows. So when you go tour the house, of where the bottom of a window or a door is occasionally a little wonky because of when it was put in and or what it was covering up when they put it in.
Yeah, it's like, why did Bob put a window 9 feet up in the ceiling?
Because that's where they shot a hole through his house.
Right.
Bob kind of strikes me as sort of like a very cultured man, like a Norman Rockwell of his time.
Yeah, why doesn't he go by Robert? The Robert House sounds more like expensive.
This is Bob, so this was the Bob House.
Okay.
Maybe he wants to cover up the fact that he's cultured. It's like the pickup truck effect. He doesn't want everybody to know that he has the fancy house. Like, you don't want people to know that you have the pickup truck.
Yeah, if it's called the Bob House, nobody's going to try to borrow money from you.
Yeah, well, so. Eventually, the house winds up with Mr. Murray in 1882. And he raises daughters and sons and all that there, in spite of the fact there were still live munitions on the grounds.
Oh, really? So, he's not going to let that slow him down.
Well, in ensuing years, if people have dug up in the yards and moved things around, you found the occasional cannonball that didn't blow up.
Yeah.
So I'm just pointing out that there were some odd, interesting things. And basically his family had the house until about 1960 when the daughters, Ella and Anna, finally aged out. But they were reclusive. They never came out. So for like 20 years, the yard never got cut. I mean, we're in Vicksburg. You don't cut the yard for 20 years, you disappear.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot more than just grass growing.
You got
there,
vines, and most of the people in the neighborhood didn't even know there was a house back there.
Did they have kudzu over there? Did that contribute
yes,
to the...
there were. I mean, this place just disappeared. And National Geographic magazine was following up on historic, especially Greek Revival homes. And we're like, we know there's supposed to be a house here somewhere.
Well, this might start to explain the creepy angle of the story. So, okay. Well, pretty interesting stuff, actually. So the Vicksburg house, the McRaven House over in Vicksburg, Mississippi, we're going to continue to explore the structure when we come back here on Tool Talk Radio.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Brought to you by Squid Motors. Every vehicle you purchase from our showroom comes with a free 10-foot live squid in the trunk. Get even more than you bargained for at Squid Motors.
There you go. Last-minute holiday gifts, Max. Very good. So, and welcome back to... I missed that little ditty. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Allan Spices over at allanspices.com, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, we do want to remind you that today is National Cathode Ray Tube Day, which is better known as CRT, which is basically what made your old televisions. And that's how we got, I guess you said it relates to radio. So we're going to salute it for sure.
Well, it's your original computer monitors were all CRTs.
There you go.
So welcome to a technology that helped get us here.
And if you're somebody like Norman Rockwell, where you've digitized your cathode ray tube powered TV and you've kept it going, we'd love to see pictures of that too as well. So, but anyway, on a more important note, in this in Great Moments in Building History, we're talking about the McRaven House in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is interesting. Basically, you talk about doing additions. What, every 30 years or so they added to this house?
Yeah,
it's
roughly.
Sort of like and I was wondering where the haunted aspect, because apparently this house is haunted. That's what, if you look up videos on this, that's all they talk about.
Everybody wants to tell you about who's haunted where. We'll get into that in just a minute. Let's get to the modern world here.
All right.
So 1963, National Geographic calls it the time capsule of the South. Because again, we got to go all the way back to 1790, and that building is still there.
The original.
It's in the middle of the house.
Yeah.
So the house is kind of cake layered around it. So we have a bad period until the 60s because the sisters just reclused. They just didn't come out. They had the groceries delivered at the end of the driveway. nobody even knew there was a house back there. And they even turned around, and this just breaks my heart. They were chopping up the antique furniture that had been there for all of this time and using it for firewood.
What is wrong with it? Plus, if you burn that stuff, you're breathing in stain
it's
and
terrible.
polyurethane.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Anyway. Yeah, these two were
well,
not very good caretakers of the home. So
a gentleman by the name of Bradway, O.E. Bradway, buys it from the sisters, and he got started restoring. And this is why I think this house is so great for Tool Talk Radio, is it kept being built and modified, and even the style of building changed because it was a frontier. It was just
Did
a
you say
shack.
Was it like a cabin or something?
Yeah,
like
it was
a
just
log
basically a little shack or cabin, and then somebody added a stairwell and built a second story onto it, and then it moved into Empire style as somebody built onto it again. And then just before, around 1840, 1850, here comes an industrialist, a business owner, and he loves Greek revival. So he builds a Greek revival home around the Empire home, which is around the frontier home. So just to kind of give you the magnitude of all of this. And now it's time to start renovating. So
yeah, you got like 8 styles to renovate.
And none of it had power.
technologies.
None of it had plumbing. None of it had any of these modern accoutrements they didn't even have phone, So here we go. Now it's time to really dig in and start the restorations. And what is funny is that each level of restoration, they found artifacts from the time when that was done.
Isn't that something?
There is a tool, there's a note, there's a soda bottle or a drink bottle or a metal flask or, stuff that got left in the walls or what they insulated it with.
Think of all the newspapers you'd find in there.
Literally a time capsule.
So the stairwell was on the outside of the original house. Does that mean that they demolished the stairs before they built the next layer? Or are there like secret staircases inside the new
Well,
the
they
current
just
house?
integrated it into the height of the house. So that stairwell still goes up the house.
So now that stairwell that was on the outside, you're expanding. So now it's enclosed. Now it's
inside the house. Right. So,
okay.
Welcome to how this house was built.
It sounds like the Winchester house.
Well, except everything here went somewhere, goes somewhere, does something.
It served a purpose.
Now, what is really fun, if you go take the tour now, in the latest iterations of renovations, is a lot of furniture from the original time zones have been redonated to the McRaven House.
Yeah.
So when you go in, you kind of enter the Victorian era, and you begin going back in time. And as you tour the house, you keep going further and further back in time.
Yeah, because when you get to the middle, you're talking about that shack.
The original frontier house.
I got a question. What is that original area used for now? Like, would that be I don't know.
It was a bedroom.
So they fixed it up nice enough to be.
Yes, I mean, they've put it back exactly like it would have been in 1795. So you have the combs and the accoutrements and the tools and the furniture of a frontier house from 1790s. So it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun to go take these tours. And of course, it was in the middle of wars. It was in the middle of back and forth between who owns us. And it saw all of the U.S. history.
Well, that was my question because, the big thing about it is that it's haunted. Well, okay, for one thing, there was these creepy sisters that lived there. That alone is enough to get things started. But then you have a war going on. People could have died right on the front porch.
Well,
People
they did.
They
did.
It's probably, they probably served as a hospital at some
Mr.
point.
Bob died there because he threw a brick and hit a military guy in the back of the head and got shot.
Yeah, so I mean, poor Mr. Bob.
So,
okay.
But the other thing is, prior to World War I, there wasn't a lot of end-of-life care.
Nice, yeah.
So, you died at home.
Right.
So a lot of people passed away in their homes. Now, because of the age of the home and the size and the notoriety, there's a lot of owners of this, owners or people that live there or family members that passed away there over all of these years.
Because that's what people say. They're like, I watched one video. It said they saw some toddler, like from the whatever. Because maybe some and then there was a couple of ladies, which is probably those two. And then I think there was a soldier and stuff. So
there's all of these great legends, but that all fits into Victorian How to Tell a Ghost Story at Christmas.
Right.
And if you don't believe me about that, just read, Dickens.
Yeah,
because that was kind of there. But the coolest thing about this house is that it's been renovated and used and renovated and used and built and renovated and used and built. So that you end up now, if you go visit it today, you get a beautiful, just post Civil War, actual Greek revival with the columns, with the grounds, and they've even restored some of the battlements from where the different soldiers had camps and hospitals and that type of stuff there. And one of the most fascinating parts, and of course, I got to bring up the kitchen, is it has an external kitchen.
I was about to ask because you said in the old days the kitchen was outside, or at least it was separate because you didn't want all the heat.
Yeah, where the fire was
or
outside of the main house. So if you burned anything down, you burnt down the kitchen house, not the main house.
Which is probably made of brick anyway. So,
yes, there's a lot of brickwork and all that. So when you go look at something like this, it's a wonderful reminder of we were never primitive.
Right.
And I want to point that out because what this house is a celebration of how we live at this time.
Well, go look it up. The Vicksburg house is pretty interesting. Lots of no shortage of videos or content.
Plenty of stuff.
Well, guys, when we come back, it'll be after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. And thanks for listening to Tool Talk Radio, and we'll see you next week.
Now get me the cannon, Bob.